If you're like me, you're probably wondering who is the youngest goal scorer at a World Cup. Now, the last World Cup was held in France where Mbappe shone very well and bright. Now, most people thought that he was the youngest, but despite his heroics at the age of 19 years and 184 days when the final match took place of the World Cup, Mbappe is ancient when it comes to the 5 youngest goal scorers in the World Cup finals history. Today we are going to break down the top 5 youngest goal scorers in the World Cup to date, so let's go. Starting off the list is former Russian wonderkid Dimitri Cherykov, a talented teenager that sadly never fulfilled his early promise. At the age of 18, he had already built up a huge reputation in his native homeland with impressive bursts of pace, agility, and clinical finishing in the front of goal. He could have been a great addition to any FIFA Ultimate Team. Cherykov became the youngest ever Russian representative at the 2002 World Cup, which was held in South Korea and Japan. Dimitri eventually netting a goal against Belgium in his country's final group game, though they eventually lost 3-2 and were eliminated. Dimitri was 18 years and 231 days old when he scored this goal. Next on the list is a blast from the past, Nikolay Kovac, who was involved as Romania took on Peru in the inaugural 1930 World Cup in Uruguay. The promising teenager managed to get himself on the score sheet in a 3-1 triumph for the Romanians in South America. Nikolay was only 18 years and 198 days old. It may not have been on the grand scale we witness in international football in the current climate, but finding the target at such a young age is impressive nevertheless, even back then. Next on the list is the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Owen. Former England marksman Michael Owen was as deadly as they come back in his early days before having severe injuries that put his career on another path. At the age of 18 years and 190 days, he bursted onto the scene for England at the 1998 World Cup, which was held in France, scoring the equalizer against Romania and later on scoring that famous goal against Argentina where he sliced and diced through the defense. He's still also the only 3 lines player to ever strike in 4 major tournaments. Not too shabby for Owen. On September 12, 2007, Owen scored twice for England in a 3-0 win over Russia, becoming the first player to score international goals at both the old and new Wembley Stadium. These were to be Owen's last and final goals for England. Next on our list, we have former Mexican starlight Manuel Roste, took to the 1930 World Cup and ultimately broke several records. He became then the youngest player to ever score at the World Cup at the age of 18 years and 94 days and the first to successfully dispatch a penalty at the tournament against Argentina. In his next outing against Chile, though, Roste then became the first ever own goal scorer at the World Cup. Talk about going from hero to zero. He may be the youngest to ever record an own goal, but there are no records on this indicating that he is the youngest. And coming in at numero uno, some consider him the GOAT, is Pele. Now, he is rounding off as one of the greatest players in history. Pele is answered to often asked pub question as he broke Rose's record in the 1958 World Cup for the youngest player to ever score in a World Cup. The Brazilian was one of the shining stars in the tournament. At just 17 years and 234 days of age, Pele managed to score a goal against Wales in the quarterfinals. Pele then went on to bag a handful of goals after this match and also managed to help Brazil lift the trophy. Now, as we know, Pele, of course, went on to lift 2 more World Cup trophies, but is most remembered for his 1958 heroics as a young boy. Truly one-of-a-kind player to bless this game.